we are going to look today at tenses. Tenses are a really important part of IELTS and OET. They, just like all grammar, like I normally say, having a good concept of grammar means that we can do well in every aspect of IELTS and OET. So in the reading, writing, listening, and speaking, grammar is important, and tenses are a huge part of that, because every sentence in English has a verb, and verbs are affected by tenses. So it's very important for us. Specific areas in OET where it's important, certainly talking about routines and talking about facts. There are problems. Talking about what's happened recently or in a period of time that's still open. People make mistakes with that. And if we think about it in OET, there's this whole story paragraph, which is supposed to take us from the past and bring us up to the present. And that requires a range of tenses. So remember, whenever you use a verb, you are always choosing a tense, even if you don't feel like you are. Doing nothing and not making a choice is making a choice. You're always choosing a tense for your verb, always. And in IELTS, as we explored a little bit last week in some of the speaking in part 2, you've got the chance there in part 2 of your speaking to use the past, to use the present, to use the future, to use the present perfect, to use continuous tenses. Not only that, it's important in the writing. And as I say, it underpins your ability to listen in the listening and in the reading. And think about this as well. Things like the passive, it's really difficult if you don't understand how the different tenses work. So whenever we review the passive, we always have to review the tenses first, because if we don't, you're thinking to yourself, well, why is that being given assistance? Why is it being given and not was given? Okay, so, and also when we look at things like as a result of, we need to think about there. So what we're going to be looking at this week is tenses. And we're going to then probably build on that next week with the future tenses and also with some passive next week. So this week, tenses, and we're going to begin with the present simple versus present continuous. To do that, we're going to investigate what the present simple is, what the present continuous is, and where there's an overlap, why there are issues, why people make mistakes with them. Okay, so let's go and have a look, first of all, at a quick exercise. Okay, I just want you to have a look at this and just see what kind of understanding you've got of this. Okay, just very, very quickly, have a look at those sentences and tell me if you think any of them are correct. Okay, just tell me whether you think any of those are correct.
And the
oh, wait a second. Okay, wait a second. Okay, so let's go through then. So, Laura, what did you say then? Number 1?
Not number 1.
You're not happy with number 1. Why are you not happy with number 1?
Because it's everyday, it's and habits.
Yeah, so if it's every day, that's a great phrase, isn't it? Okay, so that means it's usual, it's normal. Okay, so it's a habit. So what do you think we should do?
It has to be present simple.
It should be present simple, shouldn't it? Yeah, I visit. Okay, my uncle every day. Okay, let's go next one. Victoria.
Hello, sir. Yeah.
Hi, Victoria. What do you think about number 2? Are you happy with that?
Yes, sir. I
Yeah.
think it's a routine.
Oh, is it a routine? I suppose if you put something like every day at the end of it, it's a routine, isn't it?
Oh,
But
yes.
but there are a number of different things. What if it's later today?
Schedule.
Say that one again.
Schedule.
Schedule.
Schedule. Schedule.
Yeah, it's a schedule. It's a scheduled event. Yeah. Okay. So it could be used for, when does the train leave? Oh, it leaves at 2 p.m. It leaves in 10 minutes. It can be used for that as well. So it's an interesting one. And we'll look at why there are similarities, because it could be the train is leaving at 2 p.m.
Yes.
It could be both of those are fine. Okay, but we'll have a look why in a minute. What about Andrea?
It's right.
It's right. Yeah, it's fine, isn't it? Okay, that's good.
Yes.
Okay. Yep. Okay. Number 4. Let's go for Ahmad.
Sorry, I eat in the restaurant quite often.
Yeah, it should be I eat, shouldn't it? I eat in that restaurant. Why?
Because quite often it means something frequently.
Yeah.
So
So what does
yeah.
that mean? What
Means
type of word is often and every day?
it's a frequency verb, so
Daily.
it means
Adverb.
It's a frequency adverb. Yeah, you're right. Well done. Okay, that's good. How about Benitha?
Right, sir.
What about number 5?
It's correct.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. This phrase is a good phrase, isn't it?
Yeah.
At the moment. That's a nice one. So does that mean right now? Because we could say, at the moment, I am speaking to you.
Yeah.
At the moment, I'm speaking to you. But I could also say, at the moment, I'm living in Manchester. So at the moment could be specific for this moment, right now. Or it could be generally in my life. It's a nice phrase.
I'm learning English at the moment.
I'm learning. Yeah, so it's a tricky one, that one, isn't it, Ahmad? Because you are learning English now.
Yeah, but it's a long period of time.
Yeah, and generally in your life, that's something which is generally ongoing. And that's one of the confusing things about English, especially when it comes to verbs, especially when it comes to certain verbs like live, work. It's a tricky one. Okay, so number 6, Safa.
Mr. Paul, is
Oh,
there
yeah.
a difference between at the moment in the general and now? In
No.
the general, I live in
Yeah, okay,
in-
well, okay,
so
so where do you live at the moment, Safa?
Cairo.
Okay, so at the moment, you live in Cairo, and that's fine. What that means is, you moved there in the past some time ago, and you're not going to leave today. Yep, you're just going to be there. You're there generally, but it gives me the sense that at some stage you're going to move. So it's a kind of temporary situation. Just like this one, I'm staying in the big hotel. Because you don't stay at a hotel forever, do you? You don't live in a hotel. It's just a temporary general situation. But if you think about it, if I said I'm staying at the big hotel at the end of the pier, we could be in the cafe, couldn't we? Talking about that, and not in the hotel. But that's where I'm staying at the moment. That's where I'm staying for the 2 weeks that I'm on a holiday. Okay. But at the moment can also be very specific. I could say, are you eating something at the moment?
No.
No, I don't mean generally in your life. No, I know that yesterday you had something to eat. I know that tomorrow you will. I know today you will. But I know that I'm not asking right now. I'm not asking generally. I'm asking at the moment, is there food in your mouth now? So at the moment can be a specific about this moment, or it can be a general about your life at the moment. Does that make sense?
Yes.
That sounded a lot like a no. But don't worry, we'll do some practice on it, Safa. This is just a chance for us to get the feeling for it. Does it feel right or does it feel wrong in each one? Okay, let's go next. Let's go for Han. Han, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Number 6, Han.
It's correct because
Yeah.
it's every weekend.
It's every
It's
weekend,
your-
isn't it? Yeah.
schedule.
That gives us the habit, doesn't it? Give us the habit.
Habit.
Yeah.
Habit.
I'll make this one red. Okay. Okay. What about, let's go for Dachani. Are you there, Dachani?
Yes, sir.
Number 7's okay, isn't it?
Practice playing the violin. Yes, sir. Correct. Present continuous.
Really? Is that present continuous?
Practice playing.
I practice. Is that present
Simple
continuous?
present.
Ah,
Simple.
that's present simple, isn't it? So I practice playing the. And when is tonight?
It's going to. It's going to happen.
So it's the future. But is it a scheduled event? I suppose it is a scheduled event, isn't it?
It's not a schedule.
Is it not? Well, it depends, doesn't it? This is where you get to choose now. Are you practicing on your own or are you going to a lesson? You have to make the choice. This is the kind of independent thinking that we have to think about. If you have an arranged scheduled event with someone in the future, okay, then that's good. But if we think about it, look at this one. The train leaves at 2 p.m. Now that's scheduled. That's on a board, isn't it? Lots of people are going to that train, so we use the present simple. It's almost a certainty. It's a fact. But this one, it's not a scheduled event. It's more of an arrangement with somebody, possibly. So for me, I would use, I'm practicing, and I know it sounds strange. I'm practicing playing the violin.
About future plan.
Yeah, it's a future arrangement. Yeah, not a future plan. We'll see the difference when you look at the future tenses. You've got plans, intentions, and arrangements. This one makes me think that I'm going to a teacher. Okay, or that I've put it in my diary, 7 p.m. practice the violin. So it's an arrangement. It's more certain than a plan. It's more certain than an intention. It's in the future. Okay, let's keep going. Who else have we got? We've got Lucas. Are you there, Lucas?
Yes.
Okay, Lucas, I buy a new phone once a year.
Yes, it's okay.
It's okay, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's every year.
Yeah, once a year is another one of those phrases, isn't it? Every weekend, every day, quite often. These are habitual words, aren't they? They give me the frequency, the interval that these things happen. Okay, next one. Let's go for Kat. Are you there, Kat?
Yes,
Hi, Kat. Number 9.
I think that's okay.
That one's all right, isn't it? Why?
He's about to meet the lawyer to discuss the case. So.
About to meet. About to meet makes me think that that's going to happen right now. Maybe I'm outside the house. I'm outside the office. Is that what you're thinking? It doesn't have to be about. No, I could say, what are you doing for lunch today? Oh, I can't come to lunch. I'm meeting that lawyer to discuss my case. So again, this is another arranged event, isn't it? It's another arranged event. Now, I haven't got a time phrase in there to help myself, but that's because in the previous sentence, somebody has said, what are you doing for lunch today? Oh, I can't. I'm meeting that lawyer at lunch. Okay, so at lunch here. Again, it's a time phrase to discuss my case. Okay, thank you, Kat. And let's go, Chiku, are you there for the last one?
Yes, sir, I am here.
I love fried chicken.
Yeah, it's okay.
That's all right, isn't it? Do you like fried chicken?
Yes, sir.
Me too. I haven't had fried chicken for a long time. Okay, so why is it okay, Chiku? There's no adverb of frequency here.
It's a fact.
It's just a fact, isn't it? It's a simple fact. I don't have to use any any timestamp or anything like that. I just say, I love fried chicken. That's it. It's just a simple fact. Okay, great. Okay, so I think that we've got a good understanding there, but I still feel like when it comes to using it and choosing what we're going to say, well, especially when we're speaking, we still make some errors. So let's just go through present simple, talk about why we use it. Hello?
Sir, first sentence, no?
Say that.
Visit. Why? First sentence.
Which one?
Visit.
First
yeah.
first one. I visit my uncle every day. So why there is no yes visit?
Why is it not
Yes, visit.
I visits? Is that what you're asking? Well, that's just basic subject verb, isn't it? I visit, I eat, I want, I need, I live. I wouldn't say I visits or I eats a sandwich.
No, every day. No, that's
Okay, yeah, but this is not determined by how frequent it is, okay? Whether you put an S on the end of it. If you put an S on the end of visit, well, it could be a noun. I did 5 visits last year, 5 home visits, okay? Or I'm writing to request home visits. Or it could be she visits or he visits, yeah? But it can't be I visits, even if this is plural visits, okay?
Okay.
All right, subject verb. Right, okay. So let's just look at this. Like I said earlier on, you need to know the basics to understand the complexities. And one of the big problems is, as we heard at the beginning of this class, when we were having a chat, I'm usually working at the weekend. Somebody said, well, that was just instinctive. But I can understand why someone would make that mistake, because the word usually talks about something which feels like a situation in life, but it's not a temporary one, which is where present continuous comes in. So we need to understand exactly why we use the present simple and then why we use the present continuous, and see that bit where it crosses over and we make the mistake. So we use it to make statements and to make facts. Okay. So I'm going to ask for a couple of facts from people. Alexandra.
Yes.
Okay, Alexandra, can you give me a fact about Britain? It doesn't have to be really true, just anything that you think about it.
The weather is beautiful.
The weather's beautiful. As soon as I said it doesn't have to be true, you found one. I see. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So the weather is beautiful in the UK. Absolutely right. It was a bit cold and windy yesterday, but wasn't it amazing on Thursday? Thursday and Friday. It's wonderful weather. Yeah. Okay. So the weather is beautiful in the UK. Okay. Let's have one about Smithsonia. Are you there?
Yes.
Can you tell me something about cricket?
Something about cricket? You want
Just
me to
anything.
say something about
Just tell me something about cricket. Positive, negative, anything you like.
cricket is a nice game.
It's a nice game. Is it nice? I'm not sure if it's nice. It's an exciting game sometimes, but it can be boring.
They always fix the game.
Say that again?
They always fix the game, sir.
Oh, they always fix the game. Okay,
Yes,
so you could say cricket is a corrupt sport.
Yes, sir.
Cricket is a corrupt sport. Okay, well, these are facts, aren't they? Now, I wouldn't say cricket is being corrupt. You know, I wouldn't say that. Okay, I wouldn't say that cricket is being a nice game, because it's just a fact, isn't it? Okay, cricket is a nice sport, but it's a corrupt sport. Okay, that's good. Now, routines and habits. Now, isn't this where we find the most errors between routine habits? Okay, this bit here, which I'll put in blue, and this bit. Okay, guys, this is where the errors happen. Present simple we use for when we talk about routine, habitual actions. Okay, habitual events, things that happen at reasonably frequent intervals, rare intervals. Okay, we've got these adverbs of frequency. So just give me some adverbs of frequency, please.
Always, seldom.
Always, seldom.
Rarely.
Rarely. What's another one? Well, what's another similar one to rarely?
Often.
No, it's not. That's like the
Oh.
opposite.
Also,
Hardly.
mostly.
No, that's the opposite. Hardly ever. Okay, let's write these. Okay, let's write these down. Let's change. Okay, let's make a table or a little decline, as we call it. Okay, which will show us the frequency of things. So at the top, what are we going to put at the top, and what are we going to put at the bottom?
Always.
Always we'll get at the top. Yep. Okay. Always we'll put there, and we'll put what at the bottom?
Never.
Never. Okay. Yeah, we know that, don't we? Where would we put sometimes? In the middle. Let's put sometimes in the middle. Okay. So always, sometimes, never. Now, the first thing to remember is we can use this before the verb all the time. Okay, all the time we can use these before the verbs. I sometimes go. I never go. I always go. All right, okay. Now, seldom, rarely, hardly ever. Where do they go?
Between
something
and
Below the
Between.
Never.
Okay, well, I've got this word as well.
Occasionally.
Occasionally. So have a think about where I can put that. Occasionally, seldom, rarely, hardly ever. Okay, I've got those words. Where can I put those?
Below park. Below the sometimes.
Okay, would you say that all of these are the same?
No.
For me, it goes like this. Okay. They go here, and occasionally can go here. Okay, that's how I'm going to put it, and I'm going to put an arrow going like this. What am I going to write in that word? Sorry, in that arrow, I'm going to write
Frequency.
frequency. Yes. Okay, so frequency going up. So I've got, I occasionally go to the cinema. Now, we could argue about what that means. Now, for instance, Han might think occasionally means once a year. I might think occasionally means once a month. Okay. Now, the problem there is a word that Han said before, which is regular. If you think about what regular means, what does that actually mean, regularly? Because I could say to you, Earth has an ice age at regular intervals. So when was the last ice age on Earth? Was it last week?
Yesterday. Maybe yesterday. Every day.
It was cold yesterday, Nishka, but it wasn't an ice age. When was the last ice age? I think it was something like 10,000 years ago. Something like that. That was the last time that the Earth was really freezing cold and covered in snow, and it happens every so often. It happens at regular intervals. So they think that every 10,000 years, the Earth has an ice age. It might be something like that. But 10,000 years, is that a short time or a long time?
Long time.
A long time, okay. But if I said to you, you should have meals at regular intervals, do I mean you should have your breakfast at 10,000 BC, have your lunch 10,000 years later, and then have your dinner 10,000 years after that? I don't mean that, do I? But that's regular. Okay. If I said to you, I go to the gym regularly, you wouldn't think it was every 10,000 years. You would think it was maybe 3 or 4 times a week. So be careful with the word regular, because it's very, very related to the context. Regular just means with the same amount of time in between each time. Okay. So I'm not going to put the word regular. I'm not going to put it actually in the list, but I am going to put it up here. Okay, I'm going to put it there, but I'm not going to put it into the list. Okay, let's think of some other words. That's some more positive words that we can think of. What which adverbs are more frequent than these ones?
Frequently.
Frequently. Okay, so where would you put frequently?
Always.
Between
Frequently.
sometime and occasionally.
So just there, like that.
Yeah, both sometimes.
Just right next to it. I wouldn't do that. I would say frequently probably is a bit more up here. I would say I would put the word often here. Frequently to me seems to be a bit more often. Frequently, often. Any other words that you can think of?
Usually.
Yeah, usually feels more than frequently to me. Okay, usually. Another word like usually?
Normally.
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 Yeah. Yeah. So if it's usually or normally, that gives you the feeling that it happens a lot. It doesn't always, though. Okay. It doesn't always, but it does give you that feeling. So I'm going to take it just again, and I'm just going to put it over here. Just going to put it over there because it can get used in lots of different ways. I could say to you, I usually brush my teeth before I go to bed. Okay. Well, that is very frequently because I go to bed every day. But it could be I usually peel a tangerine with my left hand. But how often do I eat tangerines? You don't know. Maybe once a year. But when I do it I peel it with my left hand. Okay, so you've got to be careful with those things, but definitely do think of these words as being more positive. Sorry, I've got a fill on there. Think of these words here as being more positive. Okay. And these ones here as being more negative. Sorry, let me move this up here. Okay, so we'll put that there and let me put those in red. Okay, so these are the adverbs of frequency that come before verbs, and they can be used in other ways. So sometimes can go at the end of a sentence. I go to work on the bus sometimes. So it could be at the beginning of a sentence. Sometimes I go to work on the bus, or I go to work sometimes on the bus. You can use it in multiple places, but I wouldn't put always at the end. I go to work on the bus always. Doesn't work. I go to work on the bus usually. That will work for me. Okay, but we've got to be careful with these adverbs of frequency. We can do a bit more on that later. Yes, Siva.
Sir, how about on and off?
On and off.
Yeah.
Why are you asking about those?
No, this word also we are using, right? Sometimes if, for example, patient sometimes refuse take medicine and sometimes he take medicine. In that case, we use on and off taking medicine.
Ah, right. Okay. On and off. So, that's a bit tricky, that one. So I could say it's been raining on and off. That means it's been raining a little bit, then stopping, and raining a little bit, then stopping, on and off. I suppose, yeah. But would you use that in OET? I don't think so. I wouldn't describe a patient as being on and off their medication. I would say something like they take their medication intermittently or inconsistently, or he's non-compliant with his diet and medication. That's what I would say with those ones.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right. Okay. So present. Let's just round off present simple. So present simple, we're using this for routines. So let me just ask a couple of people. Let's go for Neshka.
Yep.
Give me a couple of sentences about your routine, or things that you do every week, or that you often do, or you rarely do.
I usually wake up at 6 o'clock.
Okay, that's quite early.
And I always doing long shifts, like 12 hours.
Okay, so I always doing. Now that doesn't work, does it?
No,
I
said
always
do.
do. Yes, okay. Remember, those adverbs of frequency are followed by the infinitive. Wake up. I always do long shifts. Okay. I rarely do short shifts. Okay. Does that make sense, Nishkam?
Yep.
It's hard, it's hard to, if that's the way that you've been speaking, if that's the way you've been practicing, it's a difficult thing to change. You have to deliberately say to yourself, I'm not going to do it from now on. And then it will become the way that you normally speak. I know at the moment it probably feels a bit difficult. Okay, so routines. We've got that. Now, scheduled events. Now, there's a slight difference between scheduled and arranged. Okay, arranged would be between me and somebody else. I would arrange that. Scheduled means that I'm in a position to say officially, this is the time. So you look at the train timetable, you can see when the train leaves, you can see when the game begins, you can see when the plane arrives. They are scheduled events. They are agreed and they're for everybody to see. So we use the present simple for that. The train leaves at 10 p.m. I meet my father at 10 and then get in the car at 10:15. So that could be a scheduled event that I am explaining to someone else. So it could be on the day of the wedding. So I meet my father at 10 and then I get in the car at 10:15. So this is almost an official schedule for other people to follow as well as me, not an arrangement. Okay, so it can be a bit tricky as well, but we'll do some practice on it. So let's leave the live stream there. If you've got any questions, please do let us know.